Live from the Terry Conners Ice Rink in Stamford, Connecticut, it's time for the 2019 FCIAC Boys Ice Hockey, Playdowns. Some call it the Playdowns, some call it the quarterfinals. We here at FSN call it the playoffs. And good evening, everybody. I'm Ed Blank, so glad you could join us here from the Terry Conners Ice Rink, and a nice view to where we are up top here at the Terry Conners Rink. Rarely that you get to see my face, but here we are again. Another year, another playoff run for these Fairfield Mustangs. They're ready to go, and so are we. Now, for Fairfield, they get a little lucky. They get to play a Stamford Westhill team that they beat in the regular season, as opposed to having lost that coin toss just 2 nights ago, where they would have had to play in a huge game at the Darien Ice House against the Canaan Rams, a team they lost to 5-0 way back when. We had that game for you here on FSN. Now, for Westhill-Stamford, they've kind of been dangling around. They knew they were going to have a home game for a while, but it wasn't until just now that they figured out they would have to play the big bad Fairfield Co-Op. Flashback to last season, Fairfield played Staples in the Class LL in the FCIAC tournament. They went a 4-5 matchup on the road and took the win. We'll see what happens here tonight. We'll take another look outside at the great crowd on hand. A pretty good crowd that has begun to file in and continued throughout the night. We hope we have a great night of hockey. We know we're going to have a great night of hockey. But before we do, we're going to step aside. We have a special opening ceremony before we begin this game. We will step aside, and when we get back, we're ready for high school boys ice hockey on the Falcon Sports Network.
Anyone can fall victim to moving fraud. Know your rights and responsibilities.
There was never really a valid contract.
Movers must always give written estimates.
I was bound to an estimate, but it was after the fact.
Be sure that any document is complete before signing it, and that it includes information to determine the final charges.
It was a version that I had not seen before.
Visit protectyourmove.gov to download a free moving fraud prevention guide. Search for registered movers and view their complaint histories. Move with confidence.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We are school teachers
We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Okay, we're back inside the Terry Conners Rink, where in the last 5 or so minutes we have gotten a lot more rowdy and riled up. We have 2 great student sections on hand. We'll get a chance to show you them in a second. We got the Black Knights just to our left, and then across the way we've got a good group of Fairfield parents and players. And right there, that's Will Capalbo. You may have seen the story over the weekend on NBC. That was about him and his brother and Charlie and what they went through together. We are happy to say Will is back, and we are not sure as to his official status tonight, but we do know that he is able to play. We talked to him before the game. He said, if Coach Carl LaRoche will play me, I'll get in that game any day. Just waiting around for our first player introductions. We'll go with the visitors Fairfield first. Just waiting for a public address announcer to get us started on what really should be a fun night here from the Terry Conners Rink. It really makes you feel like you're an NHL announcer. We were up in a perch tonight, such as like a Cameron Indoor kind of perch. It is huge. So we'll go to the public addresser right now. And the FCIAC quarterfinals will get underway in just a bit.
And the home team Stamford Co-Op wearing white. The starting lineup for tonight. First for Fairfield, under the direction of head coach Carl LaRoche. On defense, number 13, Ethan Van Lowe.
Introduce the Stamford bunch now. We'll take a listen in.
Number 9, Tyler Cuccinardi. Number 18, Eric Kelly. At forward, number 5, Tucker Healy. Number 11, Eddie Zellison. Number 24, Jason Marchese. And in goal for Stamford, number 32, Luca Scotto. And the rest of the Stamford team. At this time, we'd like to ask both teams to gather.
National anthem is on its way. We'll stay with you right after for a very special ceremony. But for now, let's listen in as the national. Oh no, we'll do the ceremony right now. So they're about to honor Fairfield's Will Capalbo, give him a nice jersey that is signed by all the players. So we'll listen to the public address announcer.
Great sacrifice made by Fairfield goalie Will Capalbo. As he helped his brother struggle in battle cancer. Gavin. Captain Gavin Dolan will present a Stamford Co-op game jersey to Will that has been signed by all of the Stamford players. As we honor Will tonight, we are reminded that to seeing both Charlie and Will back on the ice again soon. One last announcement, the Stamford Co-op boosters will be hosting a chuck-a-puck contest between the second and third period. All proceeds of that fundraiser are being donated to the Capalbo family.
So if you can't hear what he's saying right now, they just presented Will Capalbo with a game jersey from the Stamford team that was signed by all of them in honor of that great sacrifice that he made. What we're going to have in a minute is National Anthem, but before then they will have a chuck-a-puck contest at the end of the second period with the proceeds going to the Capalbo family. So we'll tune in for a National Anthem, and quarterfinal hockey gets underway right after this. Nothing better than a little playoff hockey, and it's coming up in just about 2 minutes or so. For Fairfield, they are going to start. We're going to find out in a minute who starts in goalie. We're going to figure it out in a second. 3 of them were huddled around as both teams go into their huddles. And we are just about ready for hockey. Fairfield, it's going to be a tough one for them. Stanford's kind of been the underdog of this season again. Not the program you would have expected to be hosting a game like this. But yet here we are at the Terry Conners Ice Rink with Stamford, the number 4 seed, and Fairfield, the number 5 seed, on the way from the Terry Conners Ice Rink. As I was saying before the public address announcer got us going, the booth we're up in, and if you haven't seen it, it's over on the FSN Twitter. We are all the way up tonight in kind of a Cameron Indoor Stadium kind of perch. We are all the way up. Our cameraman Griffin Forberg and our entire FSN crew on hand to see if Fairfield can win a spot in the semis. Looking to go to their first ever FCIAC championship game. They would face Ridgefield in the semis. The winner of this game will face Ridgefield. We'll have updates constantly on other FCIAC games going on. Currently, it's 69-61 Trumbull on top of St. Joe's in the FCIAC quarterfinals. Duke has a 76-61 lead, 71-61 lead on Syracuse. Trying to find some other scores. Kentar Taylor left, came back in that Trumbull game. That's a big game. We know that Ridgefield, Wilton, and Danbury, the seeds, the top seeds, all going to the semifinals there. We'll find out who else as we continue along on this Saturday night. Again, thanks for spending it with us. So hope that you're warm wherever you are, not too cold here in the Terry Conners Ice Rink. Heat does rise, so we are in the warmest part of the rink. But ready to go, and we're underway in the we'll call it a quarterfinal of the FCIAC tournament. Immediately we're going on the board nearest to us. Now dumped down into the zone. where Fairfield will send in John Grace to start in goalie. That does not mean Capalbo won't come, but he is not going to start quite yet. Westhill will be skating from our right to our left. Fairfield from our left to our right. Westhill with the biggest chance of the night. A slap shot! And just a few minutes in, it's 1-0 Westhill. Stanford 1, Fairfield 0, just a few minutes in. And the Vikings / Black Knights take the game's first advantage. What a start at 14:23. It's 1-0.
Stanford goal scored by number 5, Tucker Healy. Assisted by number 24, Jason Martinez.
It is Tucker Heel to get the goal, 1-0. And just like that, welcome to the playoffs, Fairfield. A rude awakening, but Fairfield's obviously the more experienced team in this situation, has been down in a lot of their games this season and has come back from quite a few. Had a big 5-4 win against Trumbull the other night. It was kind of a team bonding kind of victory. The Carl LaRouche, who is the head coach of Fairfield. He is the head coach. His assistants, Mark Mongio, Dave Kinfroda. And for Stanford, it's John Santagata. 13:20 to go. Just underway here in the FCIAC quarterfinals. A nasty hit up against the board. Fairfield on the losing end. It's dumped into the neutral zone, and now Westhill skating with it. Picked up by Marchese in front, and the goal goes off its holdings. So what could have been a second goal at 13:06 turns into an end puck. Jason Marchese, the junior, was looking to take it all the way to the net and put it right by Grace. But it was not to be. 13:06 left in the first. 1-0 Stanford on the early goal that came just a few minutes ago. 14:23, it was Tucker Heel to get the scoring going for the Black Knights. It gets dumped all the way down into the boards on the left side. Now here's a shot that's going all the way up, hit a light fixture, and suddenly another stoppage. Stop and go hockey through the first few minutes of this one. 12:51 to go, 1-0 Stanford. We'll call them Stanford. Obviously, it is a co-op. Two co-ops going at it tonight, the co-op of Stanford and Westhill, and the co-op of Fairfield Ward and Fairfield Ludlow. Here's the first real shot from Ward, and it just goes into the boards. Tipped along the left boards now into the corner. Fairfield had 2-on-1 advantages into the boards, but Westhill comes out with it. 12.5 minutes left in the first. Here comes 2-on-1 hockey. Takes it in. Tried to get it. Rebound. Did he score? I think he might have. Fairfield thinks he stopped it. Westhill thinks they scored. There was not a goal put on the scoreboard, so it was a stop. The groans audible from the student section of Stanford to our left. But we stay 1-0, and that could turn out to be a very big goal once we make it to the latter stages of this game. But boy, did Eddie Zeichelman, the junior, another junior that really thought he might have had it, get a denied. Here's Westhill-Stamford skating inside the numbers. And then up into the left boards. Very smart decision as Fairfield will pick it up. That's going to be Swanson, the first to the puck. Now he dumps it across into the right zone, down into the right corner. This should be icing. No, it is not. Instead, it goes forward. Fairfield trying to keep the puck in that zone. They're going to. Very physical play there by Finn Hoey, the left wing freshman. The only freshman currently on the ice for either side is here comes Westhill-Stamford. Tough time controlling out the fast break. They go along the right boards, and Fairfield gets it out of the neutral zone. A couple of line changes coming, mostly for Fairfield. Westhill still with the same group that they started the game with. 11:30 to go in the first period, and finally a whistle after We started this game with 2 to 3 minutes of stop-and-go hockey. We had about a minute or two of perfect hockey. No stoppages whatsoever, and finally a whistle coming. At 11:27 to go in the first. Ada Blank, thanks for joining us as Fairfield Ward / Ludlow. We'll call them the Fairfield Co-op. Trailing 1-0. The goal came just a few minutes ago. 14:23. It was Tucker Heel. Made it a 1-0 Stamford game. That's a shot and a nice save. How about the glove save? It was perfectly shot, but even better was the save from Lucas Scotto, the sophomore, in net. So as admirable as it that Finn Hoey is starting in possibly the biggest game of their season, Lucas Scotto stands in there, a sophomore. Has only had one prior year of this. 11:11 to go here in the first. And a little icing again. Scotto has to get the puck hit at him all night. So an even bigger situation for him. Another stoppage at 11:05. John Grace's stick actually came off, so he had to use just his glove to ice it. Fairfield wins the face-off. Another whistle. Fairfield 3-0 on the face-offs this evening. 11:01 remaining in the first. A rowdy and raucous crowd here, especially from the Stamford team at the Terry Conners Ice Rink. Certainly a vocal group for the Fairfield Co-op as well. That one trickles off a skate, goes all the way back almost to the end of the neutral zone, but it's banked off the boards around the corner, and finally Fairfield with an opportunity to score. It's stolen away. That was Mazza, the captain, goes in, shoots. It's deflected off a Stamford player's leg, and here come the Black Knights. Puts it down, Treckles into the right corner. Treckles out of the right corner, now takes it behind the net. Looking for a pass in front, instead he banks it off the boards behind the net. A lot of clearing of the puck so far, and they've done a good job of it. First to the puck now is Jankowski, the right wing freshman. He's the next freshman to check into the game besides Hoey. Jankowski trying to make some moves. Gets out of the physicality. Gives it off to the captain, Quinn. Back to Jankowski. Now it Treckles back to point with Swanson. Now it's in front. Almost went to the stick of Quinn, but he couldn't get it out fast enough. And instead it's Westhill-Stamford now. Poked ahead. This is Gavin Dolan in front. A couple of moves and a save. 9:47 to go. And the fifth shot of the night from Stamford will be another save. So after the first shot of the night goes in, John Grace is now 4-0 since that goal. This one goes back to the left. A lot of clearances, as I mentioned. Taken for Fairfield by Davies. He gets the clearance. And finally finds the stick of Carney. Brendan Carney, a sophomore. Gives it away. This is Finn Hoey, a freshman. Gets it taken away. It's going to be 3-on-5. Stamford tried to get a centering pass. Couldn't do it. Into the left boards. Very creative movements from Ashton Lewis, a junior center, and with 8:54 to go, we'll see icing called. They'll stop the clock at 8:53, 1-0 hockey. Certainly very physical play on either end tonight. It's been 6 minutes since that goal that came just a few seconds into this game. And really, Fairfield is yet to recover from it, but has shown promise. Off the face-off. It's back to point with Swanson. Now he kicks it back. Swanson rips a shot and a pad save. Big-time save underneath. They get it back. That was Newton, went through his legs. This one behind the net. Looking to get something to point. Into the right boards it goes. Skated around with Matt Newton, the sophomore right winger, looking for a pass in front. Decides he wants to skate back out, and his pass intercepted. Another fast break, the third of the night from Westhill. Still hanging with it, and Jason Marchese wanted a penalty. He was the assister on that first goal. He's going to get a penalty. Fairfield's already in the penalty box with Kevin Quinn, the captain, there for 1:16. So now, Westhill was already in the penalty box with Tucker Healy, a sophomore who scored that opening goal. But now Fairfield will send somebody to the penalty box. It's Sam Weinstein, 2 minutes for holding with 8:08 left in the first. 1:13 left. We're at 4-on-4 hockey. 1:10 left on the Westhill-Stamford power play. Then they'll skate up for about 50 or so seconds with man advantage hockey. Need to be ready for that. If you're Westhill's coach, John Stagnata, you have to be talking to your players and saying, look, we need to be preparing. It's 4-on-4. Just skate around for a little bit, see if you can get something in front. Be ready to go. We have 50 seconds to score a goal on a power play. Instead, it's Fairfield looking for a shorthanded goal. Technically, it is, although Westhill is also shorthanded. It goes into the right corner. Fairfield just trying to keep it so they can keep the puck for a little bit and get off the power play when it becomes available. 30 seconds remain on the Westhill-Stamford power play, and it's cleared up the left end. All the way down to the left corner. We've seen it all too much tonight. And finally, the icing called with 24 left on the Stamford power play, 1:07 on the Fairfield power play, and 7:17 left in the first period. Aiden Blank, thanks for joining us. We've seen just one goal in this FCIAC quarterfinal. It made it 1-0 with 14:23 left. It was Tucker Healy with 14:23 to go, just a few seconds into this game, as Westhill-Stamford, who had to face it off all the way back in their own left zone, now gets it. Skating it up and running the point is Marchese, a very young Westhill-Stamford group, not a ton of seniors. That's a lackluster pass. 1-on-3. What can Davies do with it? Instead, he has to dump it down into the boards. Fairfield Fairfield very relentless, and an errant pass gets it cleared right back. It's man-up hockey now for Westhill for about 30 seconds as their penalty is cleared. Another clearance as Kyle Mazza put a little extra on that, down to 6.5 to play in the game. In this first period, I should say. 17 left on the power play. Dupes in front, on the right circle, shoots, save in front. A couple of chances for a rebound, but nobody got a stick to it. So with 11 to go on the Fairfield power play and 6:21 left in the first, it's going to be a face-off off to the right of John Grace. Grace, the sophomore, 5'9", 130 pounds. As we've said previously, has had to use all 130 pounds of him. Certainly not the biggest guy physically, as you can see, but you know what? He's held his own in goal tonight. Has had a couple of breakaway chances on him. Has not allowed one, except for that first goal. Here comes Fairfield, 2-on-3 hockey. What can they do with it? Massive had it taken away, and now they reset. Along the near side, dumped into the boards, and Westhill-Stamford just trying to let this go. We're back to even strength, so 5-on-5. After we had a period of 4-on-4 and then a 30-second period of 5-on-4. Still 1-0. Vikings on top. Here they go, skating in. This is 1-on-4. Shot goes through. Grace didn't even need to save because Fairfield gets it back. West still trying to have it possession, but Fairfield now gets it across the blue line. Skated in with Carney, a sophomore. In front of the net, and a pad save, I guess you could call it that. Piscata the first to it in the left corner, and now with 5:15 to go, another whistle. Line change for Fairfield as Grace skating around a little bit in the net. So happy you could join us again on a blockbuster Saturday night of hockey, basketball, whatever you want to go see. We even had gymnastics and wrestling, both in their state championship meets. 2 minutes on the Westhill penalty, so Fairfield has a chance to score. Shot goes off and around the right end. They go back. The pass was errant, and now chasing it down is Kevin Quinn, the captain. Usually don't see that from him. Missed a big pass and kind of didn't realize it was a delayed reaction from him. Down to 4:55 to go in the first. Slap shot on net. Still loose. Around the net. Fairfield thinks they might have scored, but the referees say no, sir. He iced it first. The Westhill-Stamford crowd on our side, as you definitely can hear tonight, has been visibly frustrated a couple of times. They've had a number of fast breaks, but only one to show for on the scoreboard. That pass is going to be cleared all the way down. Getting the most touches tonight is Jason Marchese. It goes all the way into the right boards and now put across the right circle and through the neutral zone. Here they come. It's Fairfield looking for a big shot. This is Newton in front. And finally the clearance, but it goes right back to Newton. So Fairfield gives Westhill one of the most frustrating things they can possibly give him, a failed clearance. 4:20 left in the first. Still 1-0. Westhill clinging to that first goal lead. Shot in front, loose around the net. Still loose, goes off the post. It's still loose. Finally they put it home, but the question was, did they whistle before? The referees think they did. The Stamford Westhill crowd thinks they did. The first shot went off the post. The following that ensued was utter chaos. A couple of shots around the net, everybody desperately trying to get their stick to it. And in the end, it's all gonna be for nothing. A face-off in the right circle, but Fairfield was ready for it. They have won all 3 of their past face-offs. So on this power play, they've done a good job keeping the offensive possession. They've won the last 4 face-offs of the night, 4 out of 7 so far, including the opening face-off, 5 of 7. And as Mazza skates in with 3:46 to go, another whistle. 30 seconds on the dot remaining on the Westhill-Stamford power play. A very interesting first, to say the least. Neither team really taking the upper hand. Fairfield trying to use their experience in these kind of situations to their advantage. Westhill-Stamford not wanting to do that. A shot that goes off a leg in front. 3:34 to go. Mazza's got to skid a little bit backwards, lose some ground as he mishandled the pass at the blue line. Now skates back to the blue line, across into the left circle, stops. Now pass in front, but unable to handle it was Ashton Lewis, the junior center. They skate along the right side now. Here is Mazza. Mazza getting hammered into the boards by the Westhill-Stamford group. Finally poked out into the left corner. And here comes Westhill-Stamford trying to skate with it. Mazza was down though, and that's why the whistle comes. 3:03 left in the first, and a very rowdy crowd here inside the Terry Conners Ice Rink. 3:03 to go again. 1-0, Westhill-Stamford taking the lead in an FCIAC quarterfinal game.
Stamford penalty number 7, Gavin Nolan.
Stamford penalty's going to go on Gavin Dolan just as Stamford was getting off their previous penalty. They'll be into the penalty box until the last minute or so of this first period. Nice steal by Fairfield. Into the right boards, now it's loose in front, couple of shots, no good. And Westhill-Stamford has a good job. They know when they need to charge. As that puck goes into the stands, they know when they're about to get a turnover, they kind of get a little momentum going so that they're going full speed by the time they make that interception. We're actually going to have a face-off at center ice for the first time since that first game, that first face-off of the night that Fairfield won. Fairfield wins it once more. Have now won the previous 5. Pass in front, that goes to Stogg. They reset, this is Mazza. Backdoor pass again to Mazza, skating across the left, now off to the right. Here's a shot in front, loose. It may have even hit the post. But again, nothing of it. That's the story of this. That's Davies. Back up to Mazza. Mazza shot. Loose in front. Rebound opportunity, and we're tied at 1. Big time goal. We'll see the goal score in just a second. It was Fairfield's Sam Swanson who saw the opportunity off the save, blasted it home, and just like that, we've got a game in the Playdowns. 1-1 your score between Stamford and Fairfield. As you can see, a very big Fairfield crowd absolutely in an uproar. So it was actually Matt Newton from Sam Swanson. Swanson's shot, Newton's finish. Fairfield looking for one more to get the lead, but Stamford Westhill, first adversity of this game, shot in front. But it goes wide past Grace. Now he's got it from the right circle. A little bad memory for Grace. The last time they shot that shot, it went in, and it was just 20 seconds into this game. Line change for Fairfield as they reset. Minute 15 to go, and it's a 1-1 ball game. The kind of game you want to be in if you're Fairfield, because that's the kind of game that your veteran experience is going to help you in. That's the kind of game where your seniors are going to step up in those final few minutes, put one home, and end this thing, and send you on to the semis, where they will play a very tough Ridgefield, a Ridgefield they haven't really been able to play very well this season. It would be a rematch of the Class the Division I state tournament last season, when Fairfield lost. In front, still loose, off to the right circle, and it's still uncontrolled. Finally bumped on by Seymour. Pass in front, Mazza wanted it, as did Quinn, and finally, here comes Stamford Westhill. No numbers, but they don't care, because they go in and down to the left boards. 37 seconds to go. Both teams really playing their best hockey, you can tell, of this season, especially for a Fairfield team that we've gotten a chance to watch on a number of occasions, playing some of their best hockey all season, because it is, again, the beauty of this FCIAC tournament. Anybody can win on any given day. You win this game, you may be able to surprise Ridgefield. That shot, another one that goes into the mesh. 31 seconds on the dot, and we're tied at 1. It's a chance to catch our breath a little bit. It's been a wheezy kind of first period, I should say. Basketball still on the mind, and it will be on Tuesday when the girls play the Stamford Black Knights in the opening round of the state tournament. Be on the call with Coach Scott Torello for that one. Should be a very fun game to watch, as Ludlow will look to move on. And we were talking with the girls earlier in the week after they were recovering from an FCIAC quarterfinal loss to Trinity Catholic, a save in front. So we're down to the last 10. They said, hey, we want another shot at trouble. Tried to play them well in the first game, and there's a score. 5.6 to go. Stamford back in front. 2-1. The Viking Black Knight Co-op is on top. As I was saying, the girls were saying, hey, we want another shot. It's going to be number 7, Gavin Nolan. And that is how the first period ends. What a way to end it in the first period. Stamford got us going at 14:23. Fairfield responded at 1:58 with Newton from Swanson. And then just now at 5.6, it's Nolan from Heels, 2-1. The Black Knight Viking Co-op is on top. As we go to the second, should be some fun hockey. We'll step aside just for a brief bit, back for the third period of action. The second period of action when we get back. It's FCIAC Playdown hockey. Can't get much better than this here on FSN.
Anyone can fall victim to moving fraud. Know your rights and responsibilities.
There was never really a valid contract.
Movers must always give written estimates.
I was bound to an estimate, but it was after the fact.
Be sure that any document is complete before signing it, and that it includes information to determine the final charges.
It was a version that I had not seen before.
Visit protectyourmove.gov to download a free moving fraud prevention guide. Search for registered movers and view their complaint histories. Move with confidence.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse. Calling 811 or visiting clickbeforeyoudig.com in the U.S. only takes minutes to do, and it can save your life.
Making just one connection during recovery from mental and substance use disorders can put the strength of family and community behind you. We're all connected, offering encouragement, support, and hope. Join the Voices for Recovery. Strengthen families and communities.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, including prevention and treatment referrals for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HEALTH. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
Anyone can fall victim to moving fraud. Know your rights and responsibilities.
There was never really a valid contract.
Movers must always give written estimates.
I was bound to an estimate, but it was after the fact.
Be sure that any document is complete before signing it, and that it includes information to determine the final charges.
It was a version that I had not seen before.
Visit protectyourmove.gov to download a free moving fraud prevention guide. Search for registered movers and view their complaint histories. Move with confidence.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse. Calling 811 or visiting clickbeforeyoudig.com in the U.S. only takes minutes to do, and it can save your life.
Making just one connection during recovery from mental and substance use disorders can put the strength of family and community behind you. We're all connected, offering encouragement, support, and hope. Join the Voices for Recovery. Strengthen families and communities.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, including prevention and treatment referrals for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
Second period of hockey about to get underway here inside the Terry Conners Ice Rink. It's Stamford 2 and Fairfield 1 in the Battle of the Co-ops here in the FCIAC Playdowns. Aiden Blank, so glad you could join us on a very chilly Saturday night. Might be warmer in here than it is outside. Certainly rightfully so. A couple of huge crowds on hand for both sides. The kind of crowds you want to see in a game like this. Win or go home. That is the mantra for both these teams. The loser will pack their bags and practice for another week or so until the state tournament begins. Westhill-Stamford will compete in Division 3. Fairfield's obviously having the tougher task in Division 1, having won both Divisions 2 and 3. The winner of this game will go to the FCIAC semis next Wednesday, either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not quite sure. Believe it was Tuesday. We're going to check it out. But I believe they will play Ridgefield either way at the Winter Garden Ice Arena, so it's going to be a very tough task. Fairfield wants that equalizer after giving up the second go-ahead goal for Stamford Westhill with 5.6 left in that last period. Those semis are on Wednesday. The first one at the Darien Ice House at 4 o'clock between Darien and what looks to be Greenwich, who now leads 3-0 on Canaan. Fairfield will move from our right to our left, Stamford from our left to our right. That other game has not, the time is still to be announced. Ridgefield will host either Stamford Westhill or Fairfield at the Winter Garden Ice Arena. Would love to go stream one of those games. Not sure if Fairfield Live has the call or not. We'll find out. We know Fairfield Live has the other game, but obviously that not nearly as exciting as this one. 3-0, the lead for Greenwich. 2-1, the lead for Stamford Westhill. Battled in the boards along the neutral zone as we kind of just get underway. The ice very fresh as they put it into the left corner, a place Fairfield spent a lot of time in when they were on offense. There's a wrister in front, still loose, kicked out, and finally Stamford Westhill gets a possession. No whistle, thought we might have heard one. Now puts a shot, and Grace, a sprawling save, and keeps this game 2-1 as John Grace, who many thought would have a tough time adjusting to a playoff environment, comes in and has made a couple of incredible saves in these first two periods. Off the face-off, we go back to the left corner. Trickles out. And they reset. Stamford Westhill sends it back in. Grace, a glove save, I should say. Skates behind the net. Pass off to the right. Here comes Fairfield across. Pass goes through a Stamford defender's legs, but lost control of it. Finn Hoey was halfway up the ice before he figured out he didn't have the puck with him. This one goes back down the left side. Picked up on the left boards by Swanson. He had an assist in that Fairfield goal. Off the boards, couple of nasty hits right near us on the left side. Goes through. No whistles yet. As it's a backdoor pass that's going to turn into a fast break. Here comes Stamford Westhill, and a shot just wide. 12:09 left, and Stamford Westhill having an offensive blitz to begin this second period. They want to reset, but they paced it way too fast. Now they got to slow down. Shot coming in. Deflected off a defender's leg, and finally Fairfield able to get a clearance, but they can't get it back. Here comes Westhill. Shot in front is no good. Goes all the way back to the boards, but for behind the net. It's a whirl around that finally ends up with Stamford Westhill. Didn't realize the puck was going out of the left side. Gloves it, puts it down, shoots. It goes off a skate. Couldn't figure out where it was. Couple of hits, and Fairfield's going to come on the fast break. This is Mazza. He's a captain. Drives in front. Looking for something on the right corner. He gets nothing. His pass in front. Wide of everything. And now Westhill with a 2-on-2 fast break. But this time, it's number 11, Eddie Zeichelman, who can't handle it. Here comes Fairfield. It's been a game of fast breaks to begin this second period. 2-1. the Westhill-Stamford lead. Shot in front, knocked down, rebound. Mazza fell down, but a rebound in front, and we're tied at 2. What a big goal to tie us at 2 with 10:56 to go in the second. We've got hockey here in Stamford. How about that? 2-2 game. And Fairfield, every time you think they're down, they're back in it. So a 2-2 game. Heel, Newton, Nolan, and Mazza. Your 4 goal scorers, all 4 different. Your assisters, Swanson and Heels. First 2 went unassisted. As Fairfield trying to use that advantage. Skating into the right zone immediately. Shot coming up. This is where you're going to see this is a D1 versus D3 battle. A lot of people don't remember that as a glove save in front. A lot of people forgetting this is a D1, D3 battle. Loose in front. A rebound. And just a few seconds after the second one, we get a third. And Fairfield their first lead of the night. 3-2. The Co-op leads. How about that? It was loose in front. Those are the most dangerous pucks. And obviously, that's a lesson that Lucas Scotto, it was Finn Hoey to score the goal at 10:29. It was Fairfield's, it was Hoey from Matt Lewin. Again, that's where you see the D1 versus D3 mentality. Fairfield's got to go and compete against the teams the likes of Fairfield Prep, Greenwich, Ridgefield in the state tournament. And it's made them a better ball club. Both these teams having to play in probably the toughest conference to play hockey in, that being the FCIAC. Although some of the other conferences have made their presence known in the past few years. Nasty hit along the boards as Fairfield starts to try and gain the advantage. The backhand, the slap shot in front, and a nice glove save. Scotto anticipated it. And again, as I was saying before, those loose pucks in front, you have to get a glove to them when you get the chance. That's a lesson Lucas Scotto is learning the hard way. He's given up 2 in the last 2 minutes, both by that variety. And the one in the first period had that written all over it too. It was a little further out, but still a loose puck that Scotto never saw coming. And the result, a 3-2 Fairfield lead with 9:28 to go in the second. Fairfield, after giving up a goal from Westhill at the tail end of that, they gave up goals from Westhill at the very beginning and very end of that first period. And they've now come storming out with 2 unanswered in the first 6 or so minutes to begin this period. Scoots out, shot on the way. Grace saw it coming. Wasn't able to get down fast enough, but it doesn't matter because it went behind his boards. More fast break ball. This time it's Valillo. Into the boards for Quinn, the football star. Said he uses a lot of his football skills on the ice. Two very similar sports. In terms of physicality, you want to get everybody out of your way. If someone's standing in your way, he said, you knock them out. 8:54 to go and another whistle. Good time to catch our breath after that sprint. That was the beginning of the second period. Fairfield still with 2 unanswered, looking for a third. As Westhill-Stamford finally able to win a face-off. Remember, Fairfield dominated the face-offs in the beginning of this game in the first period. As it goes around, Stamford Westhill with it. Into the left boards, comes loose. That's Ashton Lewis getting a stick to it. Giving it off to Hoey, back to point. Slap shot on the way, and another save. Shavinsky took too long getting it up in the air. And Skoto was able to adjust himself perfectly. He kind of dragged his stick on the ice for a little too long. And the result is a face-off on the right corner. And immediately a whistle comes out. See who this ends up against. No penalties so far. We saw about, I believe, 3 or 4 in that first period. Perfect time to take a seat and settle in if you're watching at home. Maybe even come on down if you're nearby. Certainly plenty more hockey to be had from the Terry Conners Ice Rink. A very huge stand base. This in front. Couldn't get it to go. They recircle. Left boards. Behind the net for Mazza, looking for somebody in front. Gives it to Newton. Still loose in front now. Westhill comes out with it. Controlling and sprinting is Zeichelman. He doesn't want to be denied. He goes in the left corner behind the net, looking for a wraparound. He will. He'll shoot. It's loose in front and was a little too high to be put back. But had it been on the ice, it would have been goal number 3 for the Stamford Westhill Co-Op. 7:35, we see physicality for the first time in this game after the whistle. Obviously, you never want to see that. We saw it a little bit in Fairfield's opener against West Haven. We saw it last year in the state playoffs against the Ridgefield Tigers. Plenty of fighting and violence. This one resulting in a Fairfield penalty. It's going to be 2 minutes for hooking on Jake Banker. He'll go to the box. And Fairfield now with a man down. It's 5-on-4 hockey for the Co-op of Stamford Westhill. Battle of the Co-ops from the Terry Conners Ice Rink in the Playdowns of the FCIAC tournament. The winner will play on a Wednesday at a time to be announced in Ridgefield at the Winter Garden Ice Arena against the Tigers. This one goes all the way back, controlled by Mazza, who clears it up the right side. Down into the right boards. Now behind the net. Goes across the left circle. Westhill looking for another fast break. Boy, can they skate. They have been sprinting and sprinting and sprinting all night. This one by Tuccianardi. Tyler Tuccianardi, as it goes. Really one of the names you can always say, and I'll never mess it up just because of how unique it is. All the way back to point. Looks for a shot. It was deflected. Gavin Dolan denied out point. Shot didn't even get to the net. This one going over everything. Dolan jumped up to try and catch it. So at least he made the effort. Inside, a minute left on the Fairfield power play. A penalty kill, I should say, and that's a hit that'll put you right back in the box. More physicality on both ends. And a lot of cheering here as we'll see if anybody gets sent to the penalty box. We're about to find ourselves out. It is indeed another penalty, and now it's 5-on-3 hockey as the Nest and I don't even know what to call them anymore, what to call anybody's fan base anymore. We'll call it the Fairfield fan base and the Westhill-Stamford fan base. In front, shot of the way and a save. John Grace has been immortal ever since 5.6 left in the first. He has been untouchable in the net. A minute 55 left on one penalty, 50 left on the other, so Fairfield just trying to get some clearance. It's 5-on-3 hockey for Westhill. Off to the right circle, pass in front. Controls it with a skate, couple of shots, and it goes wide. Takes it back, up to point. Pass coming from Santiago Gonzalez. Fairfield with a chance to clear, and they get it. A big-time clearance that'll bring us down to 25 on the earliest penalty. 20 seconds till Fairfield can get 5-on-4 for now. They don't have much of a choice but to clear. Another clearance down to 10, and Fairfield's going to get off at least one penalty unscathed. still clinging to that 3-2 lead. Some pushing and shoving. Down to the ground goes Kevin Quinn. And finally, a couple of clearances later, we're back to 5-on-4 hockey. Fairfield with a clearance to try and reset and get readjusted as Quinn hit the deck very hard. He's immediately called off the ice. 5:20 left in this second. We got some real fun hockey out here in Stamford. And another whistle coming. The West Hill fans after that hit were chanting, "You can't do that." The Fairfield chants. And the Fairfield replies, "Well, we just did that." Off the face-off. Who gets to it first? It's Fairfield. Another victory for the black and red. This one all the way down. Is it icing? The question is, did it hit him? No, they'll say it did. 30 seconds left on the Fairfield power play. Then we're back to 5-on-5. West Hill looking to just try and get one last goal. One last go of it on the power play. Drooped in front. And he will clamp it between the post of the ice and his glove. Very close to going into the back of the net. 4:47 left in this second period. 17 left on the Fairfield penalty. Fairfield, a very impressive penalty kill so far, knock on wood. Dribbles in front, shoots, and it's saved. Rebound on a backhand, we're tied. .442 left, and boy, have we had a fun night of hockey. 3-3 your score. Get you the goal scorer in a second. It was scored for Stamford by Zelikman. Zelikman from Dolan. At 4:42, 3-3 game. Neither side has gotten a lead larger than one. As a couple of big saves made in front. Back up top. Here comes Dolan. Just had the assist. Wants a goal now. Tosses it off. Gets it. Pass in front. Can't get it from Ethan Stogg. Skog, I should say. And about 4 left in this game. In the second, I should say. Third period's going to be one physical game of hockey. One heck of a way to end it. Our view tonight couldn't be better. We're all the way up top here at the Terry Conners Ice Rink. Best view in the house by far. Makes you feel like you're at Cameron Indoor, right in the middle of all the action. That's going to go into the rafters. Seen some really good hockey today here at the Terry Conners Ice Rink. A shame that one of these teams is going home. But unfortunately, that's the way it will be. Losers going to the state tournament. Winner is playing Ridgefield in the semis. Driving up the left end, Shavinsky. Pass in front, a backhand from Quinn just missed. They reset, pass in front. It was a little too hard. Piscata almost got a stick, well, he did get his stick to it, but it was a little hard. Piscata trying to keep the play alive. Now here comes Westhill-Stamford. Another fast break. They've orchestrated them perfectly. Shot deflected. It was off the upper shoulder of Andrew Shavinsky. It gets deflected. Shavinsky controls. 2:55 left in the second, and we're tied at 3. 6 goals on the night. 3 of them coming in this period, so we're totally even. 3 in the first and 3 in the second. The 2 from West Hill came in the first. 1 here in the second. For Fairfield, the exact opposite. 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Fairfield goals have been scored by Matt Newton, Kyle Mazza, and Finn Hoey. For Stamford, it's been Heel, Nolan, and Zelekman. Chase down into the left boards in the neutral zone. No hitting there. Down to about 2.5 left in the second. Get you a final from Greenwich when we get a chance. I should say from Darien, between Greenwich and New Canaan. Skates it all the way up. This is Davies in front. And a save. 2:20 left as we continue along in this second period. See if we can get a live update from New Canaan. Well, New Canaan's on the board. It's 3-1 Greenwich with 10:53 left in regulation.
While we have this topic in play, we'd like to remind you one last time.
And another whistle coming, 2:12. This has gotten very physical, very fast. We have had a night to remember. Whoever wins this game is going to have a lot of momentum. There's an a top shelf goal. Absolutely sniping it was Matt Lewitt. And out of nowhere, Fairfield the 4-3 advantage. This crowd is absolutely rampant. And Fairfield has got a 4-3 lead with 2:09 left in the second. They're actually going to call it Swanson. Fairfield the 4-3 advantage. All the way down. Left side. Mazza in for a couple of nifty moves, and he's hit hard. Kyle Mazza's down. He didn't like the hit. Wanted a penalty, and with a minute 51, we might even get one. We'll see if the referees decide to keep it clean. We're going to see in just a bit, but it looks like no penalties. So unfortunately, for Fairfield, they won't get the benefit of ending the period. Oh, no, they will get the benefit of ending the period, Amanda. The penalty is going to come on Matt Jankowski. Excuse me, the Westhill-Stamford penalty is on Tyler Tuccianardi. So Tuccianardi is put away for the rest of the period and a few seconds into the third. This one put down into the left circle. This is where Fairfield needs to try and get the first double-digit lead, double possession lead of the night. In front, backdoor. Can't get the shot. But how about the glove save by Sam Swanson. All the way down, and finally it is cleared. So 1:03 left in this second period, 1:12 on the power play. Last minute of play here in the second period. Usually this is the side of the FCIAC championship game and or semifinals. Not the case this year. The folks down here very upset. Asked them before, they said, hey, we want to keep winning and we want to keep playing here. This is a gorgeous rink. Very press friendly / accessible. They want the opportunity to keep playing here. In front, couple of nifty moves, but finally they get to stick to it. It's picked up. .3 left in the second. It's 4-3 Fairfield. Eden Blank with you. So glad you could be with us. High atop. Here in Stamford, looking for a pass in front, got one, a shot, a pad save, still loose, and it trickles off to the left side, and that's gonna be how we end it here in the second. Fairfield with a chance, but they can't get it. They'll have 8 seconds to begin the third of man advantage hockey. But for now, it's 4-3 at the end of 2. Fairfield clinging to the lead. In the second period, a bevy of goals. We began with 10:56 to go. It was Mazza to tie us at 2. Remember, Fairfield was down 2-1 to begin the second. Then at 10:29, it was Finn Hoey from Matt Lewin, 3-2 Fairfields. Zalekman got the goal at 4:42 for Stamford from Dolan. It was 3-3, and then finally, Fairfield ends the period with the lead. It's 4-3 Fairfield on a Sam Swanson goal. He's had a night to remember as well. A couple of assists, a couple of big plays, and of course that one big goal. And it's 4-3 Fairfield as we go to the third. They'll skate with 8 seconds of man advantage hockey when we come back. Let's take a little break, catch our breath, and prep ourselves for the biggest period of this game. The third period is on its way from the Terry Conners Ice Rink in just a bit here on the Falcon Sports Network.
Anyone can fall victim to moving fraud. Know your rights and responsibilities.
There was never really a valid contract.
Movers must always give written estimates.
I was bound to an estimate, but it was after the fact.
Be sure that any document is complete before signing it, and that it includes information to determine the final charges.
It was a version that I had not seen before.
Visit protectyourmove.gov to download a free moving fraud prevention guide. Search for registered movers and view their complaint histories. Move with confidence.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse. Calling 811 or visiting clickbeforeyoudig.com in the U.S. only takes minutes to do, and it can save your life.
Making just one connection during recovery from mental and substance use disorders can put the strength of family and community behind you. We're all connected, offering encouragement, support, and hope. Join the Voices for Recovery. Strengthen families and communities.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, including prevention and treatment referrals for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
Anyone can fall victim to moving fraud. Know your rights and responsibilities.
There was never really a valid contract.
Movers must always give written estimates.
I was bound to an estimate, but it was after the fact.
Be sure that any document is complete before signing it, and that it includes information to determine the final charges.
It was a version that I had not seen before.
Visit protectyourmove.gov to download a free moving fraud prevention guide. Search for registered movers and view their complaint histories. Move with confidence.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
It's me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse. Calling 811 or visiting clickbeforeyoudig.com in the U.S. only takes minutes to do, and it can save your life.
Making just one connection during recovery from mental and substance use disorders can put the strength of family and community behind you. We're all connected, offering encouragement, support, and hope. Join the Voices for Recovery. Strengthen families and communities.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, including prevention and treatment referrals for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HEALTH. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
Anyone can fall victim to moving fraud. Know your rights and responsibilities.
There was never really a valid contract.
Movers must always give written estimates.
I was bound to an estimate, but it was after the fact.
Be sure that any document is complete before signing it, and that it includes information to determine the final charges.
It was a version that I had not seen before.
Visit protectyourmove.gov to download a free moving fraud prevention guide. Search for registered movers and view their complaint histories. Move with confidence.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse. Calling 811 or visiting clickbeforeyoudig.com in the U.S. only takes minutes to...
Here we go. Third period will decide us. Unless, of course, we need a few extra minutes for overtime. It's 4-3 Fairfield, and we're underway from the Terry Conners Ice Rink, where we've had a fantastic first couple of minutes of hockey. Couple of minutes, of course, compared to how long this game will end up lasting if we do end up having overtime. Shot in front. A very easy save. Grace will gracefully, no pun intended, flick it away. Another nice, easy save for him. He's getting very relaxed, more relaxed in net than usual, and that can be good when you have a goaltender that's a little bit less experienced than Will Capalbo, like John Grace, in these kind of games. You got to keep in mind they're trusting this game, putting in the hands of a sophomore. In fact, both sophomores are playing in this game. And in goal, as the shot goes wide and trickles back around into the left corner. 13:45 left in the game. Shot in front, and they score! Just as we thought it might be over, Stamford will come back. 4-4 here in the third. Can you get more intense than that? It's another goal from Zelikman. His second of the night. Membritanis with 4:42 to go. And with 13:37 left, both student sections have gone rather quiet. And another whistle, more physicality. We do know it has gone final up at Darien. After a full day of hockey, Greenwich wins both games. Excuse me. I believe Greenwich did win both games. We're going to find out in a second. In front, loose. But we know that Greenwich wins that second game and will take on Darien. What a game that's going to be at the Darien Ice House on a Wednesday night at Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the FCIAC semifinals. It's where Fairfield fell last year. They fell to Greenwich in the semis. Greenwich a win away from playing for a second year in a row for an FCIAC title on their home ice. Should be at the Dorothy Hamill skating rink. And you got to give it to them. A 3-2 victory in that kind of situation. For God's sakes, against a New Canaan team that's been as good as they have been, you just can't make that up. It was a big win for Greenwich. Greenwich, remember, lost in the state final to Fairfield Prep, the eventual state champions, last season at the Whale. A heartbreaking loss for them. Rather quiet crowd to begin this third. Remember, Fairfield came charging out in the second, scoring with 10:29 to go. It was Hoey from Lewin. Goal scores tonight. Heel made it 1-0 as they check on a few things. Looks like we did have an injury down here. Special thanks to our cameraman Griffin Corber. Couldn't see over the lip, but it looks like Tyler Tuccianardi, the junior, was down and is going to be helped off the ice. Goal scoring tonight got underway with Heel, 1-0 Stamford at 14:23. Then it was Newton from Swanson, made it 1-1 with 1:58 to go. 5.6 left in the first. It was Nolan from Heels, 2-1 Stamford. Mazza at 10:56 made it 2-2. Howie from Lewin, 3-2 at 10:29 in the second. 4:42 in the second. It was 3-3 from Zelikman and Dolan. Then it was Swanson at 2:09, 4-3 Fairfield. And finally, to begin this third at 13:42, it was Zelikman 4-4. Got ourselves a game. Dump back of the net. 11:55 to go. Grace not having the best night in net, but you know what? He's kept just enough out to keep them tied. It's all you can ask for a sophomore goalie starting in possibly their biggest game of the season. Goes back out, pass in front. Still loose around the net. Goes back to point. Somebody's got to get a good look at it. 11:30 to go. Behind the net. Loose in front. And finally a whistle as a couple of Stamford Westhill players ended up sprawled out in front of the net. .24 now left. It's 4-4. There's a slap shot that goes off a Westhill player's sock. Behind the net, pass went off a Stamford player. Skate Fairfield gets it on the right side. Pass in front. No, it just goes by the stick of Fairfield Ward Ludlow's Brendan Carney. Back to point. Shot in front, and he got a glove to it. Thought it may have bounced away from him, but a really good save by Lucas Scotto, who, again, like Grace, maybe this isn't the best game of your career, but he's certainly done enough to keep Westhill-Stamford in this game. It's been, and all those goals from Fairfield have been really 50-50 loose pucks in front of the net that Fairfield's just been able to put hard in the back of the net. Westhill-Stamford has really excelled on the fast break. They're 0 for 2 on power plays as Fairfield tried to get one of their own right there. A fast break, I should say, not a power play. Skates up with it is Tuccianardi, who just got injured but is back on the ice. Tuccianardi, Tucker Healy. We see Jason Marchese out there. Fairfield has it, shoots, and a glove save. 10:23 left. How about that? Another big save from Lucas Scotto. Right in front of the net. 10:23 left in this period. I say that because we don't know if we have overtime or not yet. At this point, a very good chance we do. That one, a dangerous feed in front. Lucas Scotto with another big pad save. Deflected, altered the shot there. Fairfield looking for something. Skating with it all the way down. This is Benker, the first one to it. Skates to the right, leaves it off in the right boards. It'll be picked up by Swanson. Swanson skates up the right end. Swanson through the neutral zone. Had a tough time controlling it. Gives it up to Jason Marchese. Still battling for it in the neutral zone. Finally, it's one-on-one. Healy in the back of the net. Tucker Healy. And it's 5-4 Westhill-Stamford. Didn't need an assist. Didn't need any slowing down. It was easy skating. And for the first time, since 5.6 to go in the first, Westhill-Stamford has got the advantage. Here's a shot that goes in. Just missed. Fairfield's got it back. Another slap shot. Still loose. Into the right circle. Skates through. Behind the net, and Fairfield resets. Puts one on net. It goes off a defenseman from the Vikings. And we got some nasty hitting going on into the left corner A stick was lost and is picked up now by Westhill's Ethan Skog, the sophomore. And with 9:12 to go, a penalty-less third period so far. Checking and make sure both teams send all 5 out there, and there were no penalties called without us knowing it. Looks like they're going to give Westhill the penalty. It's going to be coming on Westhill's Gavin Dolan. Second time this game he's in the penalty box. 9:05 to go in the third. It's 5-4 Stamford Westhill. First lead since that tail end / very beginning of that tail end of the first, beginning of the second. Trying to get an interception, loose still. Battled back to the neutral zone. Fairfield at least getting a little space to work in. Westhill-Stamford's done a good job on defense, making them uncomfortable, getting in front and trying to intercept those passes. Even if they don't, Fairfield still knows those passes have to be perfect, because those defensemen from the Black Knights / Vikings are lurking. Here comes a shot. It's way off, but it's picked up around on the other end by Matt Newton. Now a clearance down the right end. That's what we're going to see for a while, as long as Westhill-Stamford has the lead. A minute left on the power play for Fairfield. If they want to score, this is where they got to do it. Loose in front. Westhill-Stamford with a short-handed chance, but can't get it. Mazza will get it and try to redo what he just tried to do. Down to 43 on the power play. In front, looking. Still looking, skates back out, right point, shot on the way, loose in front. You were waiting for it to find the back of the net, because those are the kind of shots that have just scooted by Lucas Scoto, but no. The sophomore, with possibly the biggest save of this game so far, gets his glove to it, and it stays 5-4. Boy, has Lucas Scoto had a night. Starting to make those big saves, and if you're Fairfield, you don't want that to happen. You were able to get those loose pucks by him. You want that to stay that way as we wait for the face-off. Referee gives us the high sign. We're back underway. Looking for something at point. They'll get it. Right wing shot. He was scooting towards center, and another clearance. That is likely ending this power play for Fairfield. If they want one more chance, they can get it in transition, but the Westhill defense is a little too much as it scoots back down. That's the end of the power play. They need a clearance just to get back to even strength, but no, Fairfield wants one last shot at it. It was 3-on-3 hockey as the two were scooted up. Now 2-on-1 for Westhill. Dangerous feed in front, and it goes into the net. Not the net you'd be thinking of. 6:57 to go in the third. It goes into the mesh just near the student section for Westhill-Stamford. 6:57, as I said, remain in the third. And Fairfield just wants to get one and try and put this thing in overtime. Last time they had a game-tying goal, it was Kyle Mazza at 10:56. Matt Newton, the other tying goal scorer. Half of the goal scorers for Fairfields. Behind the net, that was Quinn. Now it's back up top. Stamford Westhill a chance to put it away on the fast break. Shoots, and it's just wide. 6:37 remain now. Baker had a tough time controlling it. Scoots it off on the near side for Valilla. Now up to the top, shooting through the right circle, shoots and a glove save. 6:25 to go in the third. And suddenly Westhill-Stamford, after trailing by one coming into this period and all the momentum pointing at Fairfield, has an opportunity to get a couple of big possessions, couple of icings, maybe one more goal. And they're in the FCIAC Semifinals. Should Fairfield win this game, knock on wood, both visiting teams would get victories in these playdowns. Goes to show you Doesn't matter what you have, what kind of home ice advantage you have, what kind of players you have, it matters how it plays out on the ice. And clearly Greenwich wanted it a lot more than New Canaan. The 3-2 victory for them despite a third period Rams onslaught with 2 goals. We got 9 here. Backdoor in front, still loose. Fairfield, we'll see icing and a nasty hit. That may send a couple Westhill players to the penalty box. Coming out of it was Tyler Tuccianardi. Remember, he was hit earlier just near us and was injured for a little while. The Fairfield student section is letting him hear it. 5:39 to go. And it looks like we'll see a player off, nobody off to the penalty box. They'll resume play despite the pushing and shoving with nobody in either penalty box. Tuccianardi looked to be the instigator, but obviously they didn't want to make that decision. Still loose. Fairfield suddenly with numbers but can't control it. It's been their name of the game. They've had good opportunities but haven't been able to control it. Left side along the boards. Fairfield with a chance. In front, this is Carney along the boards. Calling for it was Lewis in front. Loose. A couple of chances, and Lewis is going to get it on the left boards. Back around left for Carney. Carney and Lewis playing hot potato in the back of the net. Looking to get it in front. Biggest game of their careers. Carney a sophomore, Lewis a junior. Dump back around, Carney's going to get a chance to center. He gives it off instead to Piscata. Back of the net, Piscata. Around the left circle, 4:20 left in the third. Westhill-Stamford clinging to that 1-goal lead that would send them off to the FCIAC Semifinals to take on the best team in the state by a lot of people's means, the Ridgefield Tigers. Near side, this is Quinn. In back of the net, loose in front, but no one was there to put it back. So instead, it's a clearance. Suddenly, we're down to 3:50. Man, is this game flown by. Both teams have played tremendous. Best hockey of the season by far. Westhill-Stamford will go for a Division III state championship in the next few years. They're going to be a really tough team with a lot of big freshmen and sophomores and even juniors and seniors too, but obviously you got to be most happy about the freshmen and sophomores like Lucas Scotto, the goalie, who's held his own tonight. 5-4 the Westhill-Stamford lead. It's been that kind of night. A lot of offense here at the Terry Conners Ice Rink as a timeout's going to be called. Neither team wanting to go home without at least a victory here. So a timeout will stick with you as we get a nice little view of the Terry Conners Rink all the way up top. A nice warm Terry Conners Ice Rink. I know our cameraman Griffin Forberg would agree. As we get a second to kind of catch our breath and prepare for the next 3 minutes and 35 seconds that will decide this game most likely. Fairfield has to get a goal. If you're Carl LaRoche, you have to be stressing a lot of press on defense, plenty of double teams. You can't leave anybody on open for a fast break. And on offense, you just have to keep hammering it in. You get the sense that they're wearing down Lucas Scotto. If they can just get a few more shots off, they get an opportunity to get a victory here, or at least tie this up. Looks like we are just about ready to go coming out of the timeout. Fairfield trailing 5-4. Get a nice sip of water. warranted after a night of great hockey, and we're just about ready to go. It's a 5-4 Stamford lead. Fairfield has 3 minutes and 35 seconds to tie this game up. Around the back of the net. Here they go. Cross-ice pass intercepted. Here comes Fairfield with Swanson leading the charge. He made the interception. Pokes it around the back of the net. Charging at it was Newton, but can't get to it. Now it's going to go all the way down to the left zone. Picked up immediately by Zalekman in front of the save. Shot would have basically ended the game. Neither side has gotten more than a goal of a lead tonight. That would have made it 2.
There's a penalty, oh yeah!
Pushing and shoving, you can hear the Westhill-Stamford fans. Is it a penalty? It is not yet. But it is. And we'll see Reese Davies off to the box until 45 seconds left. 2:42 to go, and he scores! That may just do it. They needed to stop, and they couldn't get it. And for the 6th time tonight, it's a goal. It's scored by Gavin Dolan. And another whistle coming. Another face-off coming. It's 6-4. 2:28 to go. Stamford 2 minutes and 23 seconds away from a trip to the semifinals. Fairfield 2 minutes and 23 seconds to change that. They need a big defensive play here to get the puck back and put one home to make it a 1-goal game. Shot away. Deflected, got a body in front of it. A Davies penalty leads to a Stamford Westhill goal and possibly a Black Knight Viking victory. Somebody from Stamford was down into the right boards, hit hard, and pounded into the ice. We're going to find out who in just a bit. What a night it's been. Fairfield's had, for most of the game, a good lead. But in the end, it looks like it'll be the Stamford crew who just outscored him, really. Outshot him, outplayed him in just about every way. And Fairfield's going to wait till the Division I state tournament to play again. It's a 6-4 Viking lead. Last minute of play in the game. Fairfield wants one last chance at it. Sent in. And you get the sense that Fairfield's given up. 48 to go. Some nasty pushing and shoving. Shot is saved from long distance. 41.4 left. And we're that much closer to a Stamford Ridgefield semifinal. We know the one in Darien is Darien and Greenwich, number 2 and number 6. We know now, or we will know in about 40 seconds, that it's Ridgefield and Stamford Westhill from the Winter Garden. Should be some really fun hockey. Fairfield will likely not get a home game in the States, but making an upset for an upset. We'll score. Icing on the cake. On the first day of New York baseball in 2019, it's a baseball score. It's Stamford 7 and Fairfield 4 with 16.9 to go. Healy will make it 7-4. And it's on to the Winter Garden for the Stamford Westhill Co-op. One last shot from Fairfield, and it's a 7-4 victory on their home ice. Stamford Westhill has clinched a spot in the FCIAC semifinals. A night to remember for Stamford, a night to forget for Fairfield. Stamford will go to the semis, take on Ridgefield. Fairfield will play in the Division I state tournament likely next week. So that just about wraps things up. No matter how you slice it, it was a fantastic night of hockey. Just disappointing that Fairfield was on the wrong end of it. Not really much more to say than that. Get you the goal scorers as we go along here on the post-game show. 14-23, it was Heel to get us going. Was 1-0 Stamford, then it was the Newton-Swanson combo. Newton the goal scorer, Swanson the assist that made it 1-1 with 1:58 to go in the first. And then right as we thought we were headed to the intermission side, with 5.6 left in the first, it was Nolan from Heels, and it was 2-1 Stamford. Got a lot of momentum going into that second, but Fairfield took it, grabbed it, and wouldn't let it go for a good portion of that second period, as it was Hoey from Lewin. It was Mazza unassisted at 10:56 to tie it. Then it was Hoey from Lewin. Made it 3-2 Fairfield with 10:29 to go. So within 30 or so seconds, Fairfield had grabbed that momentum and taken it for themselves. Then at 4:42, it was Zeleckman from Dolan. We were tied once more, this time at 3. Fairfield gained the lead back, was Swanson unassisted at 2:09. His first goal of the game. 1 goal and an assist to his name. And then it was a couple of unanswered Stamford goals, 4 to be in fact. Zeleckman at 13:42 in the third. Tucker Healy made it 5-4 with 9:40 to go. Then as we wound down, it was Dolan to make it 6-4 at 2:41. And the empty netter with 16.5 to go. Again, from Tucker Healy. He had 3 on the night, a hat trick. And he was kind of the story, the difference maker, if you will. Without him, Westhill-Stamford may very well be still on this ice going to overtime. But again, for Carl LaRoche's squad, it's a disappointing FCIAC tournament. After you kind of thought this might be their night, Stamford Westhill, the younger bunch, the less experienced bunch, just overpowered them at the end. And that's how it ends. Hopefully we get them on for the state tournament. If not, It's been a pleasure to call Fairfield Co-op hockey all season long. We hope to see you guys next season. We'll see you for the first round of the Class LL state tournament. Girls basketball on Tuesday. I'll have the call with Scott Torello at 7 o'clock on Tuesday night when Ludlow hosts the Stamford Black Knights. Just about wraps things up for our cameraman Griffin Forberg and our entire FSN crew. Stamford with a 7-4 victory goes to play Ridgefield on Wednesday at the Winter Garden Ice Arena in the FCIAC Semifinals. So again, for our entire FSN crew, I'm Ian Blank. Thanks so much for spending part of your Saturday night with us, and we'll see you on Tuesday for more Ludlow athletic action. Have a great rest of your Saturday, everybody.